The sound that changes everything is not a roar, but a soft, wet tearing in the humid half-light under the canopy. A new cry joins the insect drone of the Floresian forest. It is thin, ready, and full of helpless need. The clan clusters, their large, flat feet silent on the damp earth. A new life. The mother, small and exhausted, licks the infant clean while her mate stands guard, his knuckles white around a sharpened branch. This small event is the absolute center of their universe. A tiny flicker of continuity in the vast, unforgiving expanse of prehistoric life for these ancient humans. A side branch of our own story. Survival is a fragile equation, and this newborn is the most precious variable. They are Homo florescenses, their small stature a testament to the strange rules of this island, a product of insular dwarfism that has shaped every creature here. It has made the pygmy stegodons manageable prey, but it has also given the sky a new kind of monster. The shadow arrives first. It is not the fleeting shade of a cloud, but something solid, a deliberate blotting of the sun that passes over them. It is followed by a sounded dry, deliberate clack, like two large stones struck together. The clan freezes. Eyes, wide and dark, turn from the newborn to the forest edge. It stands there, just beyond the screen of ferns, as tall as the tallest male. It is a bird, but that word is an insult to the thing's sheer malevolence. Its legs are stilts of grey, scaled bone. Its body is a pallid sack of feathers, but its head is a skull wrapped in mottled skin, culminating in a beak that is not a tool for eating, but a weapon, a yellow-grey spear, long as a man's arm. This is Leptoptelos robustus, the giant marabou stork, and its gaze is not the vacant stare of a beast. It is intelligent. It is assessing. The new father takes a half step forward, raising his stick. The stork mirrors the movement, a slight, predatory dip of its head. It knows what the sound was. It smells the birth. This is not a chance encounter. Over the past moon, this one bird, larger and bolder than the others, has become a persistent ghost at the edge of their lives. It does not shock. It watches. It learns. Its presence is a cold stone in the clan's collective gut. A constant, low-grade fear that now sharpens into a spike of pure terror. The mother instinctively curls her body around the infant, hiding it from view, a gesture of defiance that is achingly futile. The stork sees. It always sees. A deep, rattling hiss escapes its throat, a sound that promises patience and pain. It turns, with an unnerving slowness, and stalks back into the forest, its shadow lingering long after it has gone. The celebration is over. The vigil has begun. The intricate story of hominid history is not just one of grand migrations, but of small, terrified groups of our cousins, facing fears we can no longer imagine. The open forest floor, once a larder, is now a killing ground. Every hunt for tubers, every foray for lizards, is watched. The clacking of the beak echoes from the trees, a mocking clock counting down their chances. The clan grows thin, the nursing mother's milk is watery, and the infant's cries are weaker. Fear is a worse hunger than an empty belly. It eats the mind. They are being dismantled, piece by piece, by a single, malevolent intelligence. An old female, her face a roadmap of scars and seasons, leads the way. She does not walk toward the easy foraging grounds, but deeper into the tangled heart of the forest, toward a place of jagged limestone and thorns, a place of last resort. The journey is a waking nightmare. They move as a single, trembling organism, the men on the outside with their fire-hardened spears, the women and young in the center. The new mother and her child are precious, fragile kernel within. Every snap of a twig is a thunderclap. Every bird call a potential death sentence. The sky, visible in fractured blue shards through the canopy, is no longer a source of light, but a ceiling of dread. The place is a shallow cave, more of a deep overhang, fronted by a natural wall of thorny vines so dense they seem woven by a spiteful god. It offers shelter from the rain, but more importantly, It offers a single, defensible entrance. Here, they make their stand. The work is slow and agonizing, using heavy stones. The males break and drag thicker branches, wedging them into the existing thicket. The females, with their more nimble fingers, weave smaller, thorn-covered vines into the gaps. Their hands and arms soon cross-hatched with bleeding scratches. It is a crude wall, a desperate piece of primitive technology born not of ambition, but of pure fear. For 2 days, they work without rest, fueled by a terror that has burned away their exhaustion. They create a thorny corridor, a narrow, winding entrance that no creature of the stork size can navigate without being torn and entangled. This is the calculated gamble of early humans to use the landscape and their unlimited tools to rewrite the rules of a deadly game. On the 3rd day, it finds them. It doesn't fly in. It walks out of the undergrowth with a slow, deliberate gait, its head held high. It stops before their new fortress of thorns and regards it with an unblinking, reptilian eye. There is no surprise in its posture, only appraisal. It is one of the island's most formidable examples of Pleistocene megafauna, but its true power is not its size, it is its mind. The great bird circles the perimeter slowly. It lowers its head, and the massive beak, a surgical instrument of death, delicately probes the barrier, testing for weakness. It pulls at a vine, the thorn screeching against the hard keratin. It finds no purchase. The clan huddles at the back of the cave, silent, barely breathing.
At last,
the infant is kept quiet with a wad of moss dipped in water. For hours, the stork stalks the outside of their cage, a silent warden. They have found a measure of safety, but they have traded their freedom for it. The fortress is a sanctuary, but it is also a trap. And as the last light fades, leaving them in the cold security of their cave, they know the stork is still out there, waiting in the dark, and their hunger is growing. The sanctuary has become a tomb. 3 days they have huddled in the dark, and the gnawing in their bellies has turned into a dull, listless ache. The infant no longer cries. It makes only a faint, whimpering sound, a flickering pulse of life about to be extinguished. The mother rocks it, her face hollowed by despair. The air in the cave is thick with the smell of fear and slow starvation. Outside, the stork waits. It is a lesson in psychological warfare, a war of attrition this clan cannot win. It is the old female, the one with the scarred face, who makes the decision. She looks at the dying child, then at the exhausted faces around her. Her gaze is hard, clear, and brooks no argument. Through a series of sharp gestures, a pointed finger, a mimic spear thrust, a hand dancing like a flame, a plan is communicated. It is a desperate, suicidal plan, and it is their only hope. The clan, a unit bound by the invisible threads of cooperative behavior, prepares for the end of the siege. 2 young males, the swiftest of the group, are chosen. They will be the bait. The infant's father is one of them. His jaw is set, his eyes fixed on the tiny bundle in his mate's arms. This is not for glory. It is for that sound, the thin cry, to have a chance to grow into a voice. The others work with grim purpose. Dry moss and resin are packed onto the ends of the longest branches, creating crude torches. The remaining spears are sharpened to a needle point. This is the crucible of human evolution, not a triumphant march, but a terrified scramble in a dark cave, preparing to fight a monster with sticks and fire. The plan is simple, and its success hinges on the stork's unpredatory arrogance. The bait will burst from the thorny corridor, splitting in opposite directions, drawing the bird's attention. As it commits, lunging for one, the others will swarm from the entrance. Torches and spears ready, they will attack the legs, the most vulnerable point, and try to drive it into the thorn wall that was once their cage. The moment comes. With a sharp guttural cry, the 2 men explode from the narrow passage. For a terrifying second, the stork is motionless, its head cocked as if processing this sudden madness. Then, instinct takes over. It ignores the father and lunges for the other male, the massive beak snapping shut inches from his back as he scrambles away. It is the opening they need. The clan pours out of the cave, a wave of desperate courage. The torches are thrust forward, the flames catching the dry air with a whoosh. The bird shrieks, a sound of fury and surprise, as fire licks at its feathers. Spears, held by trembling hands, jab at its stilt-like legs. The battle is a chaotic, swirling mess of screams, hissing, and the sickening thud of wood on bone. The Stork is a whirlwind of death, its beak a battering ram. One warrior is thrown aside, his chest crushed, but the clan presses on. They are a single entity, a desperate organism fighting for its future. The father, circling around, drives his spear deep into the creature's thigh. The giant bird stumbles, roaring in pain, and crashes sideways into the wall of thorns, impaling itself. The fight is over. The silence that follows is deafening, broken only by the crackle of a dropped torch in the ragged, sobbing gasps of the survivors. They have paid the price for the sky. They do not celebrate. They stand in the sudden, vast silence, looking at the monstrous, broken thing tangled in the thorns of their own making. They have stared into the face of a god and made it bleed. This was more than a kill. It was a complex act of abstract thought, of shared intent, of altruism written in blood and fire. This is the bedrock of hominid history, not just the chipping of stone. But the moment a group decides that the life of one infant is worth the potential death of all, the strategies they employed, luring, flanking, using primitive technology as a weapon and a shield, are the seeds of everything to come. The thorn wall is the ancestor of the stockade, the torture precursor to the missile. In their exhaustion, in their grief for their lost member, they have forged the fundamental to love human survival, the unshakable knowledge that together, they are more than the sum of their parts. They are a community. They carry their dead and wounded back into the cave, and as the mother finally puts her now nursing child to her breast, the future, which hours ago had no meaning, is born again, and we, their distant inheritors, are left to wonder if the ghosts of such monsters were necessary to teach our human ancestors the most important lesson of all. We are the chroniclers, watching the firelight flicker on the cave wall of time. The past is never truly dead, it just sleeps, coiled in the oldest parts of our brain, waiting for the shadow to return. But what happens when the greatest threat is not a beast but the ice itself?